Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me today. My name is Congressman Dr. Raul Ruiz. I represent California's 36th Congressional District in Eastern Riverside County, the Coachella Valley area in Southern California. I'm an emergency medicine physician and a public health expert with training in humanitarian and disaster aid. I'm also the chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus. It is a pleasure to be with you all today at the 2021 U.S. Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Legislative Summit entitled Policy That Powers America's Hispanic Business, as we discuss America's business future. I would like to start off by thanking the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce for their leadership and work in actively promoting economic growth, development, and the interest of the more than 4.7 million Hispanic-owned businesses that together contribute over $800 billion to the American economy every year. The COVID-19 pandemic has taken a toll on our community and has disproportionately affected Hispanic and minority-owned businesses. Hispanics play a central role in the U.S. economy, especially as essential workers, oftentimes high-risk essential workers and workers in industries hit hardest by the pandemic. Because of persistent systemic barriers and inequities in the labor market, Hispanic Americans face one of the highest unemployment rates in the country, with Latinas disproportionately affected. In December, 9% of Hispanic workers, 2.7 million people, were unemployed. As chair of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus, I can assure you that all 38 members of the caucus are working tirelessly with the Biden administration and congressional leadership to ensure the needs of Hispanic families, workers, and business owners are prioritized in legislation that is signed into law. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus is proud to have 34 members in the U.S. House of Representatives and 4 U.S. senators, including our newest CHC member, Senator Alex Padilla from California, who is a champion for our essential workers and for the Hispanic community. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus pushed hard and made it a top priority for the appointment of a Latina to President Biden's cabinet. And I'm proud that Isabel Guzman has been sworn in as administrator of the Small Business Administration and is already working hard at work to build back better. Un orgullo. Having a Latina at the table who is a small business entrepreneur herself and who has previously worked at the SBA is essential to helping bridge the gap among minority business owners and federal assistance. The CHC looks forward to working with Administrator Guzman and Small Business Committee Chairwoman and CHC member Nidia Velasquez to ensure equity-driven policies are enacted so that minority business owners are aware of and have access to the resources needed to recover from the pandemic and succeed for years to come. The CHC is proud to have unanimously supported the passage of the American Rescue Plan, which ensures that millions of Hispanic families will receive the help they desperately need through money in consumers' pockets, people in jobs, and assistance for small businesses. The American Rescue Plan provides support for communities that are struggling in the wake of COVID-19 by providing emergency grants, lending, and investment to hard-hit small businesses, especially Hispanic-owned businesses. It also delivers emergency relief to working families bearing the brunt of the COVID-19 crisis. The American Rescue Plan gives working families a $1,400 per person check, helping Hispanic families who have been hardest hit financially by the crisis. It extends current unemployment insurance benefits and eligibility and provides a $300 federal supplemental per week on top of the state aid until the end of September, supporting the 1 in 11 Hispanic workers who are currently unemployed. The American Rescue Plan will help put our nation on a speedier, more equitable path to recovery for everyone. This Congress, CHC will continue to push for PPP funding for small businesses with 10 or fewer employees to prioritize assistance for community small businesses hardest hurt by the pandemic. We are also advocating for additional funding for economic injury disaster loans and EIDL emergency grants, key programs that support businesses with limited access to credit and provide a critical lifeline to small business owners in need. And finally, we are advocating for increased funding for the strengthened SBA loan programs and waivers extended for principal and interest payments to reduce the burden of small businesses and help them fully recover from the financial crisis. The CAC is committed to continuing to lift the barriers and systemic inequalities Hispanic families face and deliver progress for our communities. And we look forward to continuing to work with our colleagues in Congress, as well as President Biden and Vice President Harris in their first 100 days and beyond. Hispanic families, as I mentioned, have bared the brunt of the COVID-19 pandemic, not only because of the disproportionate burden of disease of COVID-19. Hispanic families we've seen have the highest risk of getting infected, infecting their families and their community, and also dying from COVID-19. And oftentimes it's because of overcrowded housing and working in high-risk essential jobs, essentially continuing the function of our country, especially our farm workers who are out there day in and day out, literally dying in order to feed America. And so we owe our essential workers a great deal of gratitude. We owe our small businesses who have stretched their pockets thin to ensure their employees are still employed, because in a small business done right, son familia. And an owner and a worker together as family can ensure the value of that small business can continue for the community. And oftentimes those businesses are a symbol of the community that bring people together. They're known and a pride of a community, especially in small Latino communities. And so we appreciate small business owners. We appreciate the work and the sacrifice that you have done. And as Administrator Guzman said, la ayuda está aquí. The help has arrived. And together we can endure this pandemic. We can become resilient. And we will not just survive through this pandemic, but we will thrive through this pandemic. And we will build back better, in the words of President Biden. So I thank you. I thank the work that the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce does for strengthening and empowering Hispanic communities in economic growth and development. Together, we can advance public policy that creates lasting changes to ensure the promise of America is accessible to the 60 million Hispanics living across our country. Thank you.